Today, we're talking about holograms. And no, I'm not talking about the type of holograms that you see in your favorite sci-fi movies. I'm talking about the ones that you normally see in paint. Holograms, often called tiger striping, is basically a result of the misuse of a rotary polisher. And today, we're gonna show you guys how to easily fix it up. Make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. You're not gonna believe how quick and easy it is to remove this from your paintwork. So today, we're gonna start off this detailing process with the clay bar. Now right here, I have an OG clay bar and some clay Luber. Now, when do you need to clay bar? Even though this is a freshly painted surface, this has been longer than 30 days that it's been painted. And I wanna show you guys just how much contamination has already built up in just those 30 days. So just check this out. You hear all that raspiness, all that roughness, that's all embedded contamination in the paintwork. So we want to remove that before we polish it out. So we're going to open up our clay bar package and I'm going to grab a small amount of my OG clay bar. We do have our light clay bar, we do have our medium clay bar, and we have our heavy clay bar. And then we also have this guy right here, which is our OG clay bar. Honestly, one of my personal favorites, so this is the one that I'm going with. And then clay barring is actually very easy. All you have to do is simply make sure that the surface is lubricated. So you want to spray a good amount of the clay Luber onto the surface. And then you also want to spray some onto your clay bar. And then whenever you clay bar, don't do any kind of circular motions, just glide the clay bar left and right. You know, at sometimes you may feel like you want to put more pressure just because you feel it that contaminated, but don't do it. Just take your time, left and right. You can go up and down, however you want to do it. Just make sure that whenever you're done claying, this is nice and buttery smooth. So right here, I'm basically approaching that point right now where this is all nice and smooth. And then I can grab myself my microfiber towel, and then we'll just wipe off the residue of the clay Luber. And just like that, you're all done. You now have a nice decontaminated surface. You can actually see a lot of the little specks that were on the hood before. Now they're gone, and now you see the paintwork for its true condition. So there's all kinds of holograms, there's scratches, there's swirl marks, a little bit of water spotting going on, but we'll bring you guys in for a closer look right now with our LED inspection light. All right, so now that we basically clay barred the whole hood, now we can get into the polishing step. Now, believe it or not, these holograms, although you see them and you may think that it's going to require a professional to come over here and fix it, it's actually very easy to fix. All you really have to do is just polish the surface. And you can actually do it by hand or by machine. I'm choosing a machine today just because it's quicker. And the machine that we're using is a dual action polisher. Again, dual action polisher, not rotary polisher, because we don't want to cause more damage like these holograms that we already have. We're trying to remove them, not install more. The next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to place my orange cutting pad onto my Torque 15DA dual action polisher, and I'm just going to place that nice and evenly in the center. All right, so now that we have our machine set up, now it's time to polish. Now today's polishing choice is going to be our V36, which is a light cutting polish, not a heavy cutting compound or anything like that. We don't need to go extreme because keep in mind, although this looks really bad, this is a lot of this stuff is actually just on the surface. It's nothing crazy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our V36, and then we're gonna place about 5 pea-sized drops onto our pad here, and we're gonna work it in a 2x2 section. So now that we're done with that, we're simply gonna grab our machine, and I'm gonna blot it out in this little corner section right here. And then whenever it comes to polishing, you wanna turn it on to speed setting 1 while it's on the surface, and then you just wanna quickly spread it out. All right, so now that we've spread that out, I'm just gonna move my bottle so that way I don't hit it while I'm polishing. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set our machine back onto the surface. We're gonna turn it back on, and this time we're gonna turn it on to a higher speed setting because the thing with our V-line is that it contains micro abrasives. So if you actually touch the liquid itself in person and you feel it within your fingers, you'll feel that it's very gritty. Now that grittiness is gonna need some extreme power in order for it to break down and start refining the surface. So right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it on to the highest speed setting, and I'm gonna work it in a left-right crosshatch motion until the product becomes clear, and then we'll wipe it off and inspect the results. All right, so now that I'm done polishing, I'm just gonna set my machine down real quick, and I'm gonna grab my microfiber towel here, and we're simply gonna wipe off the residue of V36. And right away, right here in person, I can tell you for a fact that this already looks way better. There is still some micro imperfections like scratches and swirls, but that's just because V36 is a light cutting polish. It is not a finishing polish. So we're still gonna follow it up with something finer, but already this looks way better than what it did before. Now I can already see that we've removed the holograms, and that's, you know, we've did our job. But like I said, there was also finer imperfections like scratches and swirls underneath those holograms that we want to remove. So I'm going to grab my LED inspection light real quick, and I'll run you guys through the paint again. That way you guys can see the difference. So this is an area that we haven't polished yet. And then as we go up, see it becomes nice and jet black. No scratches, no swirls. Camera can't even focus on it because that's how clean it is. Yeah. All right, so we just finished polishing the driver's side of the hood, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the car out, because we showed you guys the before results when it was outside, and now we're gonna show you guys the after results when it's outside. So give me a quick second. I'm gonna pull this baby out and I'm gonna show you guys the results. All right, so now that we're done polishing the hood, we just did it with our V36 and our orange cutting pad. As you guys saw, we pulled the car outside. I showed you guys the difference. This side looked great. That side still looked kind of boo-boo. So right now, we just finished doing the rest of the hood. And now it's time to refine the surface, just because I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, oh, you know, there's still a bunch of little scratches and swirls. Don't worry, I'm gonna fix you guys with a finer polish like V38. Now, as you guys can see, I already swapped my pad on my machine to a white polishing pad as opposed to the orange cutting pad, because right now we don't want to cut, we want to refine. And we're going to do that with a white pad and a V38 ultra fine polish. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, 5 piece-size drops, blot it out, work it in on a higher speed setting, do it until it's clear. We're going to wipe it off, and then we're going to show you guys the final results. Ooh, that was a wet one. All right, guys, so we just finished polishing the entire hood, and this thing looks better than brand new. This thing is gleaming, has great clarity, has great depth, great shine, great reflection, great everything. But we want to make sure it stays looking that way. And what better way to do that than with our Jet Seal. Now, Jet Seal is a paint sealant. This is great to apply, especially right after polishing, because you can imagine you just polished the paint. There's absolutely no kind of protective coatings on the paintwork whatsoever. So this is the best time to apply it because it'll grab. Now, Jet Seal is great because it's a synthetic sealant that's going to last up to 12 months of shine and protection. And the great thing about it is that you can actually apply it to a multitude of surfaces, including your paint, glass, chrome, wheels, headlights, and so much more. But the thing I love about it is that you can apply it with the D8 polisher. So we're going to go ahead and just speed up the process. We're going to speed up the process of applying Jet Seal to our paintwork. We're just going to apply a couple drops onto our pad here. Even though I got one big drop there, that's why I made the other one smaller. I'm just gonna go ahead and start applying this to the rest of the vehicle and ensure that this thing is well protected all year long. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, if you guys wanna pick up any of the products that we use on today's video, they're gonna be linked in the description and in the pinned comment down below. And as always, make sure to comment down below what kind of future video ideas you guys wanna see us make. As always, my name is Joey. This is Chemical Guys. We'll see you next time.